What up, everyone? Part 2 on what our president candidates, whoever wins tonight, what could they really accomplish in the next 4 years. Part 1 was kind of a big, heavy debate about the border control, and I talked a lot about that. I'm not getting into it again. And then I talked about the health crisis, education, that kind of stuff can be changed. Also, I'm really hoping that this next president locks in American, not just women's rights, but anyone's rights medically. I think we really need to look at the realism. I'm really sick of people who are very terminal and, they're in a lot of pain. They want to go when they want to go. I'm really sick of the government being like, I'm sorry, anyone who helps you die the way you would like to die has to go to prison for murder, even though it's the person who is terminal and is not coming back from it. Even though it's their decision to die gracefully, this country doesn't allow it. And I think that's bucking bullshit. And I'm so sick of anyone having an opinion on a woman and what they want to do. If they want to carry their baby, carry their baby. If they want to abort it, fucking abort it. It ain't your job to make a decision about what's best for them. It's theirs. We need to stop forcing our opinions on everybody like human beings are mass produced off the factory line. Step the fuck off on telling our kids what they're mandated to have to go to an education system. Some people don't believe in vaccines. And some of those vaccines, I'm right along with you. I don't feel it's fucking needed. And at the same time, there's also ones where I'm like, you're kind of crazy not to do that for your kid. But everybody should have the right to parent the way they want to. And nobody should be mandating jobs all this shit that happened in COVID. If you didn't get the fucking vaccine, you lost your job. This could never fucking happen again. That needs to be locked, sealed for all of time. As in, nobody can ever bring up again that a woman may or may not have an abortion or have birth control or whatever, anything to do with their bodies. Women also need, menstrual rights, because there are some women with certain conditions that are extreme, like endometriosis, I always say that wrong, or PCOS like me. That's where you have cysts exploding in your body that are extremely painful, or you can literally bleed out and hemorrhage because you're not clotting like a normal woman would. These kind of issues need to be finally fucking addressed, and they shouldn't be penalized at their jobs. A lot of these women have to end up taking 3 to 5 days off for a real medical condition that they can't work with, they can't work through, and they're losing their jobs left and right because people don't consider those real diseases, real disorders. They just say, oh, they're just being a baby, they have a bad period. Well, some people have real medical reasons why they have to stay in bed. It's a real fucking thing. It's not a 1940 or 30 mythology. It's a real condition, and they deserve rights because they do lose money every month. I'm sorry, the price gouging for the products women need for something we don't have a choice in is fucking bullshit. Somebody needs to put a cap on that. We need these medically. It should be a part of our medical insurance, period. No pun intended. So those are things that I'm looking for the women's rights. We need to fucking stop this unequal pay, this either only promoting women or only promoting men. That needs to stop. There needs to be a cap on how many, you have to have diversity in your management. It should just be different nationalities, different genders, so that there is no biasism in the working world anymore. Let's talk about the working world as in nobody can afford a minimum wage. I don't care what state you live in. There's not realistic living. So I think the president could really help with rent control, so they don't rent gouge people, mortgage control, how much they can charge per square footage, or land. Land taxes are astronomical. People are losing their homes because they can't afford the taxes. People aren't able to save enough money to even buy homes. Instead of giving immigrants or first-time buyers Why don't you give people who are looking to downsize, they're older, they want to sell their house and get something smaller, but their house needs work, they're older, they haven't done any construction on their house. So give them a grant to downsize their life, which would also help somebody who is younger be able to afford a house that's either one a little bit more of a fixer-upper, and give them a grant so that they can buy a fixer-upper. We're promoting older people settling into smaller houses and younger families growing into bigger ones. One hand washes the other. We need to work on American business. First of all, it's non-existent, both big business and small business. America, we used to make so much of our own products. We used to be self-sustainable, and we depend so much on imports for so much of our things. And when the state of the world, that's a dangerous way to live. You need to be able to sustain your own food. America can't sustain their own food. We can't sustain our own medical needs. We can't sustain our own education needs. We can't stand on our own 2 feet, and that's a problem. I want everybody to have that pride in themselves, like this was made in America. I work up the street, all those staple companies that used to be here that moved to Europe because it was cheaper. Maybe don't make Europe cheaper, and more business will stay and be made here and birthed here. And you need to find a way to protect those small businesses because they're getting gouged. If you raise the minimum wage, they're not going to be able to afford it. They're a small business. So although we want to help people, raising the minimum wage isn't the way to go about it. You need to decrease the prices of food, fuel, shipping costs, medical bills, like our utility bills going down would help families. The cost of private medical insurance going down would help families. The cost of tuitions for daycares, private schools, all that shit. Helping people, because let's face it, public schools is garbage. We also need to look at that. All this political shit that you're shoving down these kids' throats, it's too much. All this sex and gender stuff and all this noise on how you're supposed to parent. Schools are severely overstepping, and we need to check that back. Also, we need to check these parents back from being too unreasonable, especially for young kids. There has to be some kind of consequence for your child's actions when they act up and disrupt the class. And some parents out there don't allow the school or teachers to reprimand their kid in any way. And that's not only damaging to the child, but damaging to the class. So we need to really look at those rules effectively for both sides. I really think that the biggest heavy hitters that they can actually cover is, like I said, rent control, mortgage control, working on the realism of what things cost, making tuition more affordable, working on the border, making a decision on what we're doing with the illegals. That has to be addressed. And then you have the world crises around us and the conflicts popping off. We need to have a game plan if this becomes uncontainable, whereas we have no other choice but to defend ourselves. I think we need to build up our military, because we can't, we would have a really hard time defending all of our borders right now. So I think that needs to be addressed. Retirement, we have a lot of the baby boom generation stepping up to retire. That's going to be a big hit to the workforce. That's a lot of people. It's also going to be a big hit to the 401k and all this money that they've paid into. Now they're going to be collecting that, and it's going to be up to America to pay for those people because they have been working. It is time for them to retire. And I don't think people realize how big the baby boom generation actually is and how much we are going to be affected financially from that giant generation stepping back from the workforce. They are workhorses, and we're struggling with this younger generation. Nobody wants to work, and it's going to even get more difficult. So we need to also inspire America to have a work ethic again, and not just be demanding stuff, but actually work for it as well. So I hope those things are addressed, and those really